Alrighty, and here is a video review for something I have been looking forward to for quite a while. This is the final piece of Frostlight here. This is the Archecore SPG Platoon Berserker armor from Archecore. It is the trailer with a couple of little mobile tank RPG rocket launcher things that it does attach to Frostlight. And it's hard to get this whole thing on camera because this thing from tip to tail is 2 full feet long. It's very impressive. Frostlight by himself is a fun truck slash mech, and then with this trailer and everything, it's very cool. Now you can see the shield normally would peg onto the back of the truck when it's by himself, but the shield does. There's a couple little hooks here. It doesn't lock into place, but each side has a little hook here that you can hang the shield on, so you can have all of his stuff attached and ready to go. Honestly, the only extemporaneous piece in this whole set that doesn't have a place to go in every mode is, come on, there we go, is this steering wheel. It's like a little control panel that just pegs on. It spins here and it spins here, and it kind of makes sense up here as if you're going to be driving this as a separate vehicle. But and the thing is, there are some places you can find to peg that in and store it in the fully combined mode, and I'll show that off on one of the. I pegged it into one of the little chainsaw swords. But you could conceivably, like, you don't need this to complete the trailer look. You could leave that off, move that guy up a little bit, and just keep this in the box if you don't want to have to deal with it. Like I said, there are some places you can kind of hide it in the combined mode. But yeah, it attaches, it rolls. You can see the treads work there on the big pieces, and these are rubber treads on the smaller little rolling mobile guns that also work and roll. And you don't have to actually, I'm actually not using a whole lot of pressure to hold it down to make that roll. It's pretty smooth, which is nice. We'll go ahead and detach that. And the trailer does attach very securely. It pegs into the back of Frostlight very well. And let me see if I can get it out of here. You can see there we go. There's a couple little tabs here on a spinny piece that peg in here into these 2 peg holes on the feet there in vehicle mode. We'll go ahead and put them off to the side while we focus on the trailer. But yeah, so the trailer can hold the 2 guns. It's got the little steering wheel. We'll go ahead and pop that off for conversion here, which we'll be doing shortly. And then each of these, you can bring down, these 2 are identical. You can fold out some little panels if you want to have more people riding on it. You see there's peg holes for people to ride it. And if you have any of these smaller armored guys, they've sold some in sets as little platoon sets that are just some of the figures and accessories. But if you've been collecting the mech parts of them, you should have at least 3 of these guys. But you can peg them on here. Let's see if I can get a foot on one of these pegs. That's okay, that popped off. Oh, come on, peg on. Just one of you hold. I just need one of you to peg in and hold in place so I can show this off. There we go. Peg his foot in. This tab's on right here. The back like that. But you can also leave those folded up. The turret itself can rotate on the treads. The gun can raise and lower a little bit. And again, the treads roll. And it's pretty cool. Like I said, they're identical. I'm only showing off one, but these are exactly the same. One of the other things that's cool is while it doesn't actually fire, unfortunately, it would have been cool if they could have worked in some sort of spring-loaded gimmick. This little piece right here that holds the weapons, holds these things. These, I don't know how exactly these stay in. I don't know if there's a little peg there. There must be a short little peg because they're not super secure in there. But if you push them all the way down, they won't fall out when you put them on. But you can pull out each individual rocket. Now it doesn't want to come out. Come on, one of you, just one of you needs to. Come on. I was just talking about how they don't, they're easy to get out, and now it's the curse of saying it out loud. I'm convinced. Let's see if we can't pop one of these out of here. Oh, I don't want to do it in such a way that's going to scratch that cool teal paint. Will one of you come out? I I only need one of these things. Seriously, these things were falling in the couch earlier because I'd keep knocking them loose. And now I need to get one out. Just one single one out. Hold on. All right, seriously, all day long, at least one of these in both of these pods. I'd flip them over and it would go flinging off somewhere, and now I had to pull it to get it out. But I did get it out. So anyway, you can take any of these missiles. You can open this little hatch here on the back of the gun, like that, and you can load the rocket in and close it up. Now, like I said, it doesn't fire. That's it. You just tilt it forward and it comes flying out of there. But if you want the action of loading the gun, you can do so. Go ahead and put that back into place. But there's the gun, the little armored gun pod things, and you get 2 of them with the set. You don't need your dead body laying there, Gary, or Halfdan. All right, so to go ahead and turn this into all of the armor and cool stuff, go ahead and take the shield off and set it off to the side for the time being. And then we'll start separating this. This piece right here snaps off the back. There's a couple little pegs right here and right here. There's a little tab on this piece that tabs in right there, you can see, and then you can just unsnap that from the back, and we'll take this piece off, and then these pieces right here pull out. You can see there's a tab here. Rotate up and then push back in so it locks into place, and same on this side, just like that. And we'll go ahead and flip this down right here like that. That's going to be his backpack, and we'll set that off to the side. For each of the gun pods, pull off this piece, fold this piece all the way down, leave that like that. Rotate the gun up because you can see here's the slot where the foot's going to log into or slide into. Pull the front off, set these pieces off to the side, turn them over, unpeg the treads from the front here, flip the toes out, and then rotate the treads around and in, and then there's you can see those will tab together like that on the bottom of the foot, and there is one foot piece from a gun pod, and we'll do the same thing for the other. Just pop off those 2 pieces, fold it down, flip it up, flip out the toes, and rotate the treads in, and set those off to the side. Starting to get a little crowded here on my table. This part, this is where it gets a little insane, because you got these pieces right here. Going to fold these little warning stripe pieces down and around, all the way down so they tab in back here. Flip this whole assembly over, and right up here you're going to unpeg from there, and then from these 2 pieces there's a couple little tabs here like that, and there is one tread that has now become a chainsaw sword for the larger robot, like that. We'll set that off to the side, and then we'll go ahead and unpeg this from here, take off the chest plate, which just kind of tabs. There's a couple slots here and here that these tabs right here go into. Pop that off, and then untab the 2 shoulder pauldrons from these 2 tabs, and there's the second chainsaw sword with the working rubber chainsaw blade / tread there. Set that off to the side. This piece, you know what? I think we're going to wait until last on this piece. Let's go ahead and get them all combined, and then we'll show off how this part works, because it's pretty cool. So now that we've got all the pieces separated, bring in Frostlight. And here is base Frostlight by himself. And I think it's actually going to be helpful to not have the gauntlets on for attaching the backpack, because it's a little bit of a... You're going to take this piece right here, this little right there, is going to clip on where the shield can clip on in robot mode. But then these pieces right here, you kind of have to push down and snap into under his little chest plates here, which I'll show you in just a second. We'll go ahead and push this on to his back. You want to kind of line it up so it goes on. You should be able to get it. There we go. Snap it onto the back, and then these pieces right here. Is it snapped onto the back? No, it's not. Come on. stays down. It should be possible to snap this on first, but you may need to wiggle these because you can push. You need to push down and then push forward. Because see, this little tab right here is going to tab and snap underneath that front chest piece, if I can get it here. It requires more force that, like, it's almost scary, and you think, oh God, I'm never going to get this off, but then it actually pops right off when you're taking it apart. But it's just a matter of getting it all lined up right and not stabbing yourself on these things. Come on. It's mostly just getting the leverage on all the parts just right. I did it earlier. There we go. You can see that one just clipped in there. And then, there we go. That one just clipped in there. And now it's on there securely. Again, fold that down. So now he's got his big backpack with the thrusters on it and such. While we're at it right now, this little piece, you can leave this folded up. There's room for it. But if you fold this hinge down, as I was saying with all of his pieces earlier, you can take his hammer. I believe it goes in like this. No, it's like this. You take the hammer and you can peg this on, peg this into the hammer. Oh, come on. Like that. And then this hammer can store there on the back of the combined giant robot, which is nice. Like I said, all this stuff is able to store onto the main robot. And I appreciate the thought they put into all of that all along the way. That being done, also something like I mentioned, like right here, these pieces were a little loose. Some people complain about how the screw loose. They gave you a couple extra little gray pieces. It's hard to see, but there's a little thing that fits over the screw and fills that gap so the screw's not wibbling around in there, which is kind of nice. Then on the upper arms, we will take these pauldrons. They're identical, so it doesn't matter which one you put. I guess, well, one has the symbol on it, but other than that, the pieces themselves are the same. But you can take this, you open it up, and you see there's little tabs up in here, and these are going to go in the tabs up here on the upper arm here. So you just tab that in, and then fold it around, and lock it into place, and it should, if you had it lined up properly in the back, it'll peg right into the front. You can also, if it's a little easier to see where the slot is, you can peg it onto the front first if you prefer. Then just, now he's got his big pauldrons. And you take this waist piece that was the one that was stored in the backpack part, and it just pegs right on here onto his cod piece. The chest plate here has a couple of tabs on the side here. There's a couple little tabs in here that will also kind of rest in places. I think these maybe go right in here, but these ones here on the side go into the side pieces, and those are the easiest to line up. Just kind of put it, yeah, see these go in here, and then you might want to rotate this piece down a little bit. Angle these pieces down a little bit so the lower tabs go in there. Tab that on like that. And come over here, line it all up. And make sure that, yep, and there's the chest piece all tabbed in. And he's already looking pretty cool. Like even just like that, that's already pretty boss. The pieces we took off of the gun pods, again, doesn't matter which side you took them off of, which gun pod. These pieces right here go on and plug into the kneecaps. Like that. I suppose you could attach them upside down like that, but they're supposed to go on like this with the gold vents facing down. Like that, so you still see this detail, which is nice. These piston pods, or not piston pods, the missile pods, peg right in here into the side of his thighs, like this, and like this. And again, still looking pretty cool, pretty armored, even without all the stuff on him yet. Let's go ahead and do, though, since we promised it, we've already seen him with Gary on as the wolf, so let's go ahead and give him one gauntlet here, where we kind of slide that handle up in there, get the little tab and lock it onto his arm, and then wrap his smaller robot hand around that handle. And then we'll do the same with Frankie, now that we have him. Open up the fingers, slide that little handle around, and then attach him to the other arm. And there he is with both of his gauntlets. We're getting there. Big and imposing. Oh, now with those gauntlets, he looks a little gorilla-esque. But that's fine because we'll come down here, and the feet, you want to rotate his feet as far back here as you can and then fold the toe up. And when this should click into place. Okay, it is clicking. It's clicking, but it's not making a loud audible click. But when you do that, you can see it exposes this little slot right here, and that is where this piece goes in. And we'll just line it up and slot one foot on all the way. Nope, missed it. There we go. There we go. Latch that onto place, and then we'll do the same. Now we got to support him while we do it because he's not super stable with only one foot on. So we'll lock that up into place, bring that all the way down, grab the other foot, and again just line it up and slot it on. Bring his arms forward again. And there, it's not fully armored yet. In base mode, there is the whole combined Berserker armor on Frostlight. And it makes him much larger. He's very big and cool. Come up here, show up his upper body here. And then the chainsaw swords. Now he can hold these. You take them. Okay, they go on specific sides because they have this little one side you can see here has an extra extended piece, and that's going to allow it much the same way like a lot of third-party stuff does. You have to kind of put it in on top and slide it down into his hand to lock it so he can hold it. But he can hold... all right, well, that one... There we go. His actual... that was the forearm joint for transformation that was hanging down there, his actual elbow. Actually, he's capable of supporting the weight of the chainsaw sword, and we can do the same over here. So you can give him his fingers through there. Come on. And then lock him in, and now he's got both of his big chainsaw swords here. Okay, that right arm is wanting to give out, so they're heavy. I get it, but there he is with big old chainsaw swords, which are pretty cool. And again, like I said, the treads are rubber and work. And then, but you can also take these out. Leave them on like that, and then the backpack that we put on him has these little pegs right here, and you can take these. I think they're supposed to go on like this, but I like to turn them around so they're, instead of adding more weight further back, you can see where that peg is. Instead of pegging them on like that, where most of the weight is behind the peg, I swap them to the other side. So when you peg them on, like, it doesn't go past what's already there for the backpack. It's like otherwise it would peg in here and stick out this way, whereas this way it's kind of flush with the rest of the backpack. But you can store both of his chainsaw swords on his back, and that causes him to lean a little bit, but once you just rebalance him, he's actually pretty sturdy. And then, and here's where it gets crazy, because we haven't even gotten to that last piece of the trailer. There we go. You scooch back a little bit there. So with the last piece of the trailer, let's bring it down a little bit so we can show this whole thing off. Here's what we got. And how this works is take this piece and rotate it out and around and unfurl the cool fabric battle standard here. Now when it originally came packed, this was just, it came packed like this with this just flat on the trailer. You can do that too, but the instructions actually have it wrapped around this piece so it's not as obtrusive in vehicle mode. But you got a nice little fabric battle standard there. And then this piece, take this piece right here, flip it up, and it clips into place up here. And then this piece right here comes up and out. And then down here, fold it down like this. Each one of these gray hinges flip out all the way out and around. Like this, and like this. And then take these pieces and fold it all the way around the base here. And it'll tab in like that, and then rotate it right here 180 degrees. I don't know why you have to rotate that 180 degrees. Probably because of the hinge. But anyway, now you've got this. Let me see if I can't get this, because this is almost a human-sized axe here for him to wield. And you'll notice we don't have the shield on yet, but I did say there was stuff for everything. So right here on the front of the axe, you take the shield and you can attach it to the axe itself. And there is everything connected. And again, he's got the same little tab. He can hold the axe in either hand. It's got the tab on both sides. But you can bring this up. You can attach it into the slot in the hand. And now he's wielding this giant axe. And is ready to just kick some butt. And it's very impressive. So there it is, all together with the giant axe. And it's very cool. Oh, the battle standard's kind of there on his arm there. Now, like I said, this piece is the only piece that's left over. And what I have, like I said, you could easily just stick this in the box and not worry about it, because I don't think you really need it to complete the look of the trailer. It's just kind of there. But if you want, I have found, you turn this around, inside of this backpack on either side, you can actually just plug it in right here. There's a little hole that this just fits. So you can kind of store that. If you want to, you can store that right there on the backpack, out of the way, and it's not obtrusive at all if you want to keep all the pieces together. But the hammer, the shield, the steering wheel, the chainsaw swords, the giant axe, everything has a place here in combined mode, and that's really cool. And it's just super impressive. Like I said, I like the look of it. I like the design of it. I like that it's a new company doing non-established characters, doing their own fiction and making it look this cool. My only minor complaint is that they have shown off the Yggdrasil faction's mech, and it's different. There are some retooled parts, but it's basically a retool of Frostlight. And like, as cool as this is, I would like to have seen the individual factions get their own mechs. I'd like to see more unique designs in the line. Although there is, Yggdrasil also has a single gun, one of these gun pods that are the feet, that's in green with some different missile launchers that attach to the side, available singly. And you could probably get those and attach them to this guy if you wanted to. And they'd probably attach to the Mountain Crusher, I think is its name. Mountain Breaker, something like that. Mech as well, but we don't know if that one, the faction, just because the base truck is similar with some different chest parts. It's got like some drills up here versus these claws that come up. He might get its own unique mechs to attach to it, and that would be cool. But all in all, like how far deep into this line I get depends on how many more unique mechs we get. I might get the green truck just to have a rival for this guy, but. This is fantastic. It's a lot of fun. It's posable. It's not like, none of the transformations are super difficult. Everything tabs together securely. Looks really cool. It's giant. It's not super expensive based on the size of the toys you're getting when compared to other third-party and unlicensed products. I mean, like it's on par or even like a little cheaper versus what you pay versus what you get. Just really cool. I think it's a good value for the money. It's a lot of fun. It's unique. I'm a big fan of, like Transformers as it continues. Like I just reviewed Cosmos, and it's like the third or fourth Cosmos we've gotten in the last few years. When I say few years, it's probably been a decade, but you know what I mean. We've seen Optimus Prime several times, Hot Rod. We're starting to see the same characters, and like I love seeing these completely new designs especially when they're so interesting and cool. So that's the Berserker armor from Archecore. The whole set, like Frostlight, the two wolves, the armor. And the thing is, I think you could even if you didn't have the wolves on here, he looks really cool all armored up with just the Berserker armor, but obviously having the bigger gauntlets is very cool. I think I've said cool. I don't know how many times I'm showing my age. I'm a kid of the 80s. It's cool, it's rad, it's totally tubular. Whatever. It's late, but I hope y'all have enjoyed watching it. Like I said, this line, of all the third-party lines and new stuff that has come out, this one has caught my attention in a way that others have maybe initially caught my attention and then not held it. And I've been super waiting for this for a long time, and to finally have all the bits to make this giant combined form is fantastic. Archecore Berserker armor, check out the line, check out the toys. Very cool. Thanks for watching.